Now, joining us on News Central to discuss this is Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, the NUMSA National Spokesperson. Thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure, thank you. Now, let me ask you this. In light of the Eskom wage talks, we understand that some benefits have been restored for your members. What exactly are these perks?
Well, we did finally sign the wage proposal that Eskom had placed on the table. What we secured was a 7% across-the-board increase for workers in the Central Bargaining Forum. These are the lowest paid workers. They make up about 28,300 employees in Eskom. I would say about two-thirds of the total employees at Eskom. At the same time, we've also secured a 400 Rand increase in the housing allowance. And we've also secured a reinstatement of conditions of service. Now, this is particularly important because the crux of the strike, or the heart of the strike that workers had embarked on at Eskom, was the decision by Eskom to take away some of these conditions and these benefits that workers had always enjoyed over many years. And the removal of these benefits had resulted in a 9,000 reduction in salaries in some cases for many workers. So this was really a burning issue. And the fact that we were able to renegotiate for all of those conditions to be reinstated as they were in June 2021 is quite significant. And this is why we were actually able to settle the dispute. And at this point, workers have returned to work, as far as we know anyway.
Right. Also, Phakamile, we understand that, following this development, not all unions representing the Eskom workers supported the strike undertaken by your members and the NUM members. But ironically, all workers benefit from this new wages. What's your take on that?
Sorry, could you just repeat the question again, please?
Okay, so I was saying that, we have been following this development and we understand that it's not all the unions that represent Eskom workers that were in support of the strike undertaken by your members and the NUM members. But then all workers are benefiting from this new wages. So what is your take on that?
Well, that's true. This was not actually a strike which was sanctioned by the union. What happened was that workers at Eskom were provoked into protesting, as we saw in various reports all over South Africa at various power stations. When Eskom, on the 22nd of June, walked out of wage talks and collapsed the talks without engaging, they provoked workers into a protest and what they say is a strike. It was not a union-sanctioned strike. Whether NUMSA or NUM, we were not actually coordinating or running or managing the strike as we would have been in previous times. This was literally a response by workers to the fact that Eskom management was undermining the negotiation process. They thought that Eskom management was insulting them, and they felt provoked into taking this type of action. So what we were trying to do as a union was really to try and normalize the situation, to try and get workers back to work. And the best way that we did that was to just, try and negotiate with them, to understand what are their demands. And this is why the meeting that we had with Eskom at that time was to deal specifically with those demands that workers were making.
All right. Now, at the end of the day, 7% of the whole agreement is for a year. What happens then? Are there new talks, or is it that the period has been captured in this whole agreement?
So, yes, indeed. Basically, all workers are going to benefit from this agreement. All workers who are covered by the Central Bargaining Forum, whether they're under NUMSA or NUM, will benefit from this agreement. What we've secured will be to the benefit of all workers. And we really appreciate the fact that our members have said that they are accepting this offer. On the whole, the majority of workers, both in NUMSA and NUM, accepted this proposal, which is why we were able to sign on their behalf and to settle the dispute.
Once again, thank you so much, Phakamile, for joining us on the news, and thank you for shedding more light on the development.
Thank you.
All right, that was Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, the NUMSA National Spokesperson, who joined us to discuss the Eskom wage talks that is currently ongoing. Now, moving on to